Melted diamonds.
What
Hey,
up? What up? Yeah, your boy's on deck. Your boy's on deck. How you living? How you living?
chilling, chilling, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Let me
I
see.
like the hair, bro. That shit
That's
fresh.
Oh
hard.
yeah, yeah. That's the crown. Got the 3 billion-year-old Numite, oldest gemstone.
I'm
Got
sorry,
the
Flyboy Chip. I swear to God, I didn't know you could do that, bro. And we were in the middle of
yeah. My girl made a little crown. You know what I'm
what's
saying?
up, man.
One of the
You know,
ladies.
Flyboy Chip in too.
Yeah, but dang. Hold on. Shit. All right. So yeah. Uh, I guess I was really asking to come on for the whole stop asking women to be better thing and shit like that. All right. So on one hand, not beat a dead horse. Well, I wouldn't be beating a dead horse with this, but on one hand, it's like this, right? I get where they're coming from. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not uh, completely subscribed to like the modern, I guess, feminism and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like they do have certain points in certain regards, but it's not in the, I don't ever see people bring up the points that I think matter about why they should have these kinds of attitudes. Like part of it was when I said, men not being survival trained, combat trained. Like if we're gonna go traditional with it, let's go real fucking traditional with it. Like you know me, Aaron. You already know I be out there. You see me skinning rattlesnakes, hunting all kind of fucking shit. I do the martial arts, like all this stuff, and it was never really anything. It was never really anything that I even presented per se. You know what I'm saying? In dealing with women and stuff like that. Most of the time, women find out later on that it's like, oh, you John Wicken and shit, low key. I'm like, yeah, but that's not what you're supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not for you, really.
Mm.
you know. But one thing I will say is that, you know, it's up to men, it's up to us to like kind of come together and reinforce uh, masculinity amongst ourselves. I've always had an issue with the idea of a woman coming to me as a man trying to tell me that, because I don't go to women and tell them. And I have a problem when people try to say, well, women should do this, women should do that. Honestly, it's like I feel like there's certain things that whether it's right or wrong, it's like a woman should hear it from women. And if that's not what women are telling women, you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes a question of what do you value then? Because I honestly, all right, so I hear my mom's a boomer and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And she'll make a lot of points like, women don't do this, blah, blah, this and the third. And that's what I expected growing up, right? But at the same time, I had a problem with the fact that I had to decide on my own that I was going to go and actually learn how to survive, you know. And I think the attachment to a consumerist capitalistic society is what is poisoning both men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like it's everybody's in the matrix. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is, if you take somebody from, say, a first world, the first world, like where we are now, and you drop them, like, I think about, say, for example, you ever hear about the niggas like with plane crashes and stuff, where like some people survive and they start eating each other? Yeah,
Yeah,
like they were eating each other, right? While food was growing out of the ground around them.
right.
You
They
see what
have
I'm
wild
saying?
animals to live. Hold on, they have wild animals to live off on too.
I mean,
They,
in the meat department, but it's like we got to remember too that we live in a society, and I mean, I'm Native American part too, so this is stuff that I kind of know about. But it's like, when you go to the Home Depot and you get yourself some weed killer, right, for your lawn, right, this foreign grass that they put in the ground, what you're killing is indigenous plants, and a lot of them shits they're medicine, they're edible, get you high. Like, it's the craziest thing in the world to me that most people go to Walmart or the supermarket or Whole Foods, right, to get their dandelion leaf salad, and they will walk right past a whole field of dandelions in order to do that shit. Like, to pay $20 for a box of dandelion leaves. $20 for a vial of dandelion root extract. Don't even know dandelion root is a thing, but yet you're gonna walk outside and look down and see the same thing you just paid for right there. And guess what? Niggas get paid to rip that stuff out of the ground anyway.
Good point.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like all of this to me comes back to, it's like we shouldn't be looking at each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the distraction. We shouldn't look at each other. We should look at the motherfuckers that make and maintain the rules. Especially when you consider the fact that we vote those people in. You know what I'm saying? It's a bigger thing than just us interpersonally, because we're just reacting to what we're dealing with. It's the same thing like say, for example, reverse racism. Remember they used to say that shit?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they still try to say it, but it doesn't work, because at the end of the day, it's not like we're running shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't sit there and say that we're...
I don't. Somebody told me back in the day. I don't know if you remember Darius from Peachtree, but he said pretty much the government's role in our life is to be our parent. But at the end of the day, I don't really agree with that. We do have a say-so in our lives, because if you look at an example, when black people were the only race to actually take to the trick of welfare, lessening the strength of our families.
Okay. Yeah.
Hispanics, Asians, and other races did not respond.
All right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it's really up to us as an individual how we respond. If they can put these Eurocentric ideals of beauty on us, we could say, no, your hair is beauty. Your hair is beautiful, as natural as it is. I don't want you to look like a white woman. I want a natural black woman. I don't want you to like.
But then she goes to work, and that natural hairstyle is criticized.
That was gonna be my next. That was just a small example, but
I feel it.
At the end of the day, yes, it is a woman's job to teach a woman how to be a woman, but we do have to understand that where do we start from here?
That's a good question.
Actually, if they're reacting in a certain way, how many times do you give it? I've dated black women my whole life up until a couple of years ago.
I feel it.
But I'm not blaming black women though. I'm not blaming black women. I'm blaming me. My environment. I wasn't in the right place at the right time, and I shouldn't have been dating in the first fucking place. You feel me? It's a real miscommunication of where, as King Solomon said, the time and the place. It's really that.
Well, and you know what? Since you put it there, that is entirely my issue. Is when you look at, and I mean, I'm just saying from personal experience. You know where we met, what kind of living that was. You know what I'm saying? That was up there. I've lived every socioeconomic class there is. I've seen the gates in between, what they look like. I've come up and I've fallen down. And at this point, what I think people take for granted is if you really look at the time and the place, how the time and place for the average person, at least I can say this in America, but it's really most of civilization, unless you're out there in the woods, somebody else is dictating how and what the time and place is to, I will say, at least the degree of 40 to 60%, depending on your individual ability. And when it comes to what people call the come up, right? All you're really doing at a mathematical level is increasing the ratio from 40 to 60% up to maybe a 70, 80, or potentially 90, which I would call billionaire status. You feel me? Part of that process involves understanding, right? Because this is the craziest thing about reality, society, all this shit, is when I figured out that if there's an aspect or element to my life and my reality that I'm not actively and deliberately running manually, someone else is. or something else is.
Right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? And so going back to what Darius said about it's the government's job to be our parent, it's like, okay, because they decided that that's their role, not because we chose them as that. And the thing about it is, what's not traditional about that form and style of government is the fact that you're supposed to have the choice of whether or not, that's what living in cities is supposed to be for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes
Whether or not if you want the government to be your parents, go live in the city. But
facts.
but no, what's happening is you can't collect rainwater. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a fact whether you live in the city, that's a fact whether you live out in the middle of nowhere. Maybe you ain't got caught yet, but if you live out in the middle of nowhere and a good old government find out that you collecting rainwater, it falls out of the sky, they got to have a say about it. You know what I'm saying? Like the only reason we have no choice but to look at the government as a quote unquote parent or a benefactor really is the way that it should be seen, is because they have installed themselves as the executives of situations and circumstances that they've been controlling so long we don't even realize that that's something that we can assume control of or even should control for any practical reason in our lives. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely, I agree
Now,
with that, man. So I think the
yeah,
solution would be, of course, people going inside, tapping into your own spirituality. I don't even want to use that umbrella term, but the social engineering is very heavy. I have to
yes,
say, all the WAP
yes,
and the even a video I just watched. I mean, a video I just watched saying that black men are destroying themselves because the masculinity that we try to exude, if we try to be anything outside of a thug
outlawed,
or a gangster or
out,
an outlaw,
outlawed.
we're viewed as, if you try to be anything other than a thug or a gangster or anything like a hoodlum, they call you gay. If you try to take care of yourself, you try to, learn instruments, you try to learn about art, you're automatically a homosexual. But they're not going to say that about the white man, the Asian
Nope.
man, the desert people. So I think social engineering, of course, they pick the perfect people to do it because, I mean, I
Yeah.
don't want to go into the science of melanin,
All right.
the actual creative substance of the universe, 90% of the universe being dark, which is what melanin is, which is where, the home of creation. But that's what we don't understand about us as a people, I think.
Absolutely.
Because if us being they studied us. I'm not gonna go
Oh
too
yeah.
deep into it. They studied us, and
And we got to
black
study them back.
the culture, the leader of all cultures of Africa, Africans and Africa being the leader of all cultures, they definitely understand their project. I'll
Yeah.
just put it like that.
Yeah. And I personally feel this is what I've done. You know what I'm saying? Is try to go within and understand myself, understand the people around me. Like once upon a time, I had the question, yo, how the fuck did we get here? Like, wait, like,
Hold on, the
uh,
homie tried to speak. What's up, bro?
yeah, what's up, homie?
Okay. I was gonna get back on the situation as black men, how we feel like everything we do, if it's not gangster, it's uncool or whatever.
Right.
That, but at the same time, everybody's not built to be a gangster.
Right.
And
Just image
I
wise.
don't know. Yeah,
Image wise.
Yeah, yeah, I see what he's, yeah, yeah. It's like, it's not really,
No, go ahead, because we've
oh
been
yeah,
just
and
knocking all the time.
and working 9 to 5 is lame, but being broke is lamer. Where you fit in? Who do you fit in? That's
A
the
lot of
average
people don't
dude.
think like that.
right, right, right,
Some
right.
niggas would
So
rather be around a broke ass nigga with no job selling weed, making $20 a day than to hang out with a square, bro. It's a weird society, bro.
that's what I'm
It's so
saying.
that's well, shout out to the homie Juju, man. We're gonna have you on here one day too.
How you doing, Jessica? Sweet.
Oh, Jessica, I didn't
Yeah,
see you. You got my
I need to learn how to actually do this live shit. I still ain't really.
today, man.
Yeah, this is.
So,
As well.
I don't know how y'all see it in them comments. None of that shit.
it should be able to pop up, but you know,
Yeah,
but it's kind of
yeah,
weird.
yeah. But I just realized I need to just start actually playing around with this shit more.
Yeah.
Seemed like a
So,
good time. It was a good topic, y'all. Y'all had some. This was yeah,
so
yeah. This is where it's at.
that's what I was getting at. Like, huh, it's kind of interesting. Like, if so, and ladies, that is pretty much your pick. Somebody that's doing illegal activity, a dude that's doing 9 to 5 or whatever his career is, or a broke dude.
That's what I call a red color. I mean, blue color, white color, or black
I
color.
mean, you could go for the vet on Social Security.
Hey, shout out to the vets on Social Security.
Hey, right. That GI Bills, what's up?
Hey, they became the new Jodies. Jody was taking their girl. Now they taking somebody else's girl.
I mean, if the government is doing what it's supposed to, then yeah, but even all of them, they ain't all being taken care of the way they should be either. Like, I be having to share GoFundMe's and stuff for all my vet friends and stuff. I'm not a veteran, but it's just like, it's crazy to see
Yes,
how.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
And as a veteran, I can actually speak on that because I seen it myself. I seen matter of fact, taking anger management classes with people that needed 100% disability for PTSD.
It's
They in
real.
the anger classes fighting to not kill nobody, like for real. They are fighting. They come in the anger management class like, man, I just broke my stepson's arm, straight up. I'm like, what?
And you know what? And that's the thing is, I feel like people stigmatize that shit like without understanding. Like, okay, so because I got CPTSD, but my shit does come from like combat situations and shit like that. They just weren't the government sanctioned combat situations. You feel me? So like that having been said, yeah. It's like what people don't understand about like the whole getting sent out there to do this stuff. Now they might sell you a state sanctioned good reason to take somebody's life, but when you're in the situation, it doesn't matter how or why you fucking got there. You're just in it. And then after that shit, it's just happened. And at the end of the day, it's just like, say, for example, man, I watched this documentary about a tiger, right?
Hold on.
Thing is, there's a difference between a tiger.
Make sure y'all get these shares up, man. Make sure y'all get these shares up.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah. And, the thing about it is I was watching it where they, in India, they had a tiger that started eating people. And basically it was showing not just like what the people were going through, but like how a tiger that has not ever tasted human blood is different from a tiger that has and has now identified humans as a food source. We as human beings are kind of the same way, because like once you've been forced to like gain the means to take life, and you are now a human being that has the ability to do that, conflict in general becomes a whole different fucking situation. You know what I'm saying? Like a scarier version of, but you can't beat my ass.
It becomes,
you know what I'm saying?
Pretty much like you get I watched a video about people getting addicted to negative emotions.
Yeah, well, it's like this. It's like, let's say you were in the gang life or some shit like that, right? Let's say you were in a situation like I was in something kind of like that where I'm telling motherfuckers what to do, right? And there's consequences for not doing what the fuck I say, okay? A situation where you're not in that environment, you don't have that status, which is what a lot of people would see as getting your life together, means that a petty conflict, especially if it's petty and it's petty, is a very difficult situation to be in when you know that you are capable of like vastly fucking superior force. You know what I'm saying? And so especially when people are being extra nasty or petty and stuff like that, and it's all like, motherfucker, do you know what the fuck? Like, do you know what this shit is? Like, for real? That is it's hard to go from being the person that had to be a killer out there to like dealing with all this stuff, because what you learn out there is what's really real and reality in life. You know what I'm saying? You understand what's in between life and death. You know what I'm saying? Here, you have, in order to get on in society, you have to learn how to pretend to be a person that didn't happen to. Keyword pretend. Either way is pretending, whether it's for good or for ill, but it's never presented to people as that are going through it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But also on top of that, it's not put on that way. And then at the other hand, regular people don't realize how they're being manipulated, because it's bad for business for them to know that. So it's the same thing as Thomas Jefferson said about people after slavery. There was a whole plan for ending slavery hundreds of years before they ended slavery. And the messed up part about it is the thing that Thomas Jefferson said, right, is he was like, look, he was the only dude that was willing to admit that, like, look, eventually we're going to have to end this slavery shit. And as soon as we do, we need to send them back to Africa. And he said the reason why is because all that's going to happen is, as soon as we end slavery, what are we going to do? We're going to turn them into general population. And then what? All the other white people are going to treat them like shit, right? They're going to treat them a different kind of shit, because they're going to remember what they are. And as generations pass, eventually, it's just going to be this thing where it's like, okay, what the fuck y'all are doing around us and what they did back then, them niggas aren't going to forgive us for that shit, because we're not going to give them what they deserve in return.
Well, they didn't study us that hard, because historically black people are not a violent people compared to everyone else.
Well, but the thing is, historically,
human psychology is to fear somebody doing back what you did to them, but we've never done that.
Well, actually, as an anthropologist, I mean, well, I don't know, because, you know, I do the history shit for real. And that having been said, no, we all do that. The difference is, you know, it's a difference between, okay, we as black people are not the same as our predecessors. We are a different variant of black people that were created via artificial circumstances, which is the horrors of slavery. We cannot be, it's like that having been said, we're built of adversity. We're created of adversity. So that having been said, we can't say it's not in us. We can say it's not in the shit that never happened to, but it's definitely in us, you know. But then on top of that, before slavery being a thing, how did most of our ancestors get here? They were probably defeated in war. Like, I mean, we were killing each other in Africa before white people got there. White people only showed up there because they had killed everybody else in their shit. You know what I'm saying?
I don't agree with that.
All right, what's up?
I don't agree with that. As far as
I get what Chip is saying. Like,
we didn't Leopold anybody, bro. We didn't King Leopold. There's an average of 100 million black people that has lost their lives from the beginning of slavery to around now, the 80s.
Yeah, but the Muslim expansion, though.
We haven't done anything to retaliate.
Hold on.
Far as slavery, besides,
hold on. Now that's not entirely true, because the Muslim expansion was basically like the vehicle, like that. Like that's
white people, bro.
What is that? Oh no, we didn't do nothing to them. Like, well, hold on. We did fair play to them. Okay, they came into our shit in Africa and got fucked up, like the Zulu Wars and stuff like that. But no, we didn't do. I wasn't saying that we did the same thing to them. Like, no, because we didn't give a fuck about them. We had a whole continent of cultures and civilizations to interact with that we did that shit to. But it just wasn't. What was never done and what's unprecedented is the idea that this particular category of people forever, no matter what, is designated as a slave class. That's what makes us different, and that's what makes the slavery we went through different, is the fact that we were brought here for that sole purpose as a race of people. Like, In Africa, anybody could be a slave. In Rome, anybody could be a slave for different circumstances. Most of Rome's slaves were Roman because they were in debt. You know what I'm saying? But nobody was sitting there saying, nobody before the Europeans was sitting there saying, okay, we're going to get these people that look like this, bring them all the way over here, specifically to be slaves and nothing else. And on top of that, what made it stupid is the fact that they somehow assumed that this would carry. This was something sustainable. They thought that they could continue to treat human beings as livestock, and that was just going to be the way things were going to be forever. Like,
you know what? Since you say that, and we still get treated like livestock.
Yeah, we're being punished for some shit that happened to us. Yeah, like
that's a new system right there.
Yeah, anthropomorphic rather than human.
Prison is a new slavery. I've been telling people that prison is a new slavery.
It was invented first. Prison was invented the same year that slavery was abolished.
I mean, yeah. But even then, it's like there's other forms of slavery that exist, such as like, consumerism. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am gonna say it. Consumerism is real. Like the whole parable of like niggas would rather die in the streets for a pair of Jordans type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Jobs, bro. That's my pet peeve when people saying that having a job is being a slave. Like, no, nigga.
No, it's not. It's fucking not. It's fucking not. It's fucking not. It's just a shitty business arrangement. Is what it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but it's not slavery.
Because hoes actually benefit from being with a pimp more than people benefit from.
Give credit to, yeah. And but my thing is with marketing, when you think about that, because that was like the profession. Entertainment marketing was the background before I just kind of unplugged from a lot of stuff. I've seen exactly how the what is black culture now became that, because I watched it happen. I was right there with Tyler Perry coming up. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that you see, Steve Harvey, fucking Monique, like Cedric said, you know what I'm saying? All those cats, I saw their rise, and I saw, and we had to direct people's attention to them. So like people underestimate what marketing actually is, which is my job as a marketing professional is to change your mind to pay for this product, make you want this thing.
The definition of marketing is any endeavor to generate more income for a business,
which is to generate sales, which means affecting someone else's behavior with questionable degrees of like consent based off of awareness. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, when I tell. Yeah. But no. Hell no. As a matter of fact, if you ask me, a top tier drug dealer is way better, because the thing about it is the difference between the pharmaceutical company and the drug dealer is the drug dealer wants you to know what's in his shit. Because that's going to be the sell up. You know what I'm saying? If he's good at what he does, you know what I mean? Pharmaceutical company, they have to keep their ingredients fucking mixed up in the mist and shit like that. But when it comes to people understanding how the mind works, not even just marketing, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're listening to a song that says my life sucks, my life sucks, my life sucks, my life sucks, you know what I'm saying? Every day in different ways, just because it slaps, you are literally brainwashing yourself into fucking depression. And somebody's getting paid off of that, and somebody else is getting paid by that somebody else for you to make them want that.
Which is it's a great point when it comes to the original topic. We went down a very deep hole, kind of like my girlfriend. But the whole thing is, we have to understand that women being brainwashed into being against the gender war it's a great business. Women being single, women hating men, men hating women, it only generates more income. Men generate 80% of the money in this country, but women spend
Are spending
70% of the money.
it. They're the ones that spending it. Yeah.
It's why? Because they don't have a man. So if you keep on focusing on men becoming better men instead of you being a more marketable product, you're going to be a marketable product for people to just take your money. What am I saying? It's cheaper to just be agreeable and feminine. I'm not saying to be a robot. I'm just saying being you don't have to be a warrior. You don't have to fight. There's no glory or honor in being an independent woman. It's just not attractive. You're not gonna find a husband doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I know you want a husband, baby.
I
I know you want me.
mean, yeah. You know, when it comes to that personally, you know, I guess the more chauvinist attitude I have towards that is like, you know, you got to know the codes when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's like in my experience at least, depending on what kind of man you decide to be when dealing with that woman dictates the kind of woman you get from that man. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, that man gets, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's plenty of chicks that's just like, man, mean as all fucking hell. I know, like, I see them just cutting niggas, eviscerating them, you know what I'm saying? But when I come along, you know, because of the way I move with them, you know, the way I treat them, the way that I view them, it's a totally different story. And it'll even be to the point where I'm like, damn, babe, why you get on man like that? Why is that? Well, every time they say anything, every time they say, no matter what their individual's reasons are, it's just a matter of, okay, that they just weren't bringing you the energy that activates that. So it's like, we as men, I feel like we should get more used to like rolling the dice, re-rolling, you know what I'm saying? Like because of the fact that we have the ability to just like say, like, we need to get more comfortable with canceling broads, you know what I'm saying? Like, moving on to the next one. Next, you know, get used to putting broads in the friend zone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like men haven't had enough time in general.
That's actually my next video I'm gonna do tonight. It's gonna be called I haven't thought of a solid topic, but dating 101 in 2023. For it's really for any man, but it's more of a young man topic. But
what time is that gonna drop?
A strategy. I'm on the West Coast, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
All right, that's it. If I'm still, hey, send me the invite. If I'm still awake, I'll check that out because I want to hear about that.
Give everybody a preview. One of the OGs told me that every man should have 4 women in their lives. One you treat more like a sister. One outside of your actual blood family. One you treat like a sister. That's like a mother figure that you can actually vent to, that will give you sound advice. I'm gonna just give you a little sample.
That sounds dope.
Told me when I asked her, I was probably like, I know I was in Atlanta, so I was 10 or 11, and I asked her, I was like, Mom, how do I get girls? And she said, son, tigers don't teach lions how to hunt gazelles. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Because, you know, my mom's she has her master's in marketing and advertising. She's also a PR for Home Depot. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to @aaronimoses for saying that. She gave me a little game on that situation. So the mother figure, the sister figure, the friend, not necessarily a friend, somebody that you date, and then a woman that you are just exclusively sexually involved with. And as far as that, just tweaking that actual formula to keep men's minds.
Sounds about right.
One-itis. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the term. It's a red pill term. One-itis. Pretty much being stuck on one woman when she's not actually, you know, fantasizing about marrying her and things like that. And I think that's where unhealth and the disconnect a lot of men are as far as in the dating world. It's going to be a great topic. Yeah,
that sounds dope.
It's going to crush. So I do want to say we have 2 more minutes if you guys want to, you know, put any more opinions in, because I definitely have to go back to the stuff.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's past that time anyway, fam.
Yeah. I got some things to get into, but thanks for having me on, brother.
Hey, for sure, man. You did your thing.
Hey, good to meet you, bro. Travis. Yeah, that's That's weird. I'm not used to saying my own name.
It's not that weird, man. Diversity. All right, we
Right.
got Suhata Juarez, everybody else, Billy,
Hey,
everybody
Billy. Oh, what's up, Billy? That's my boy down in South Florida. What's up?
South Florida. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed this, man. For all the YouTube family, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're watching this pre-recorded, make sure you get the likes up, share this. Somebody you know out there needed this information because it leads to
Heard.
liberation, man. I love y'all. Have a good day. Have a good Sunday. I'm the band, you the band, we the band together, man. Life is in the breath. It's Aaron Moses, Casio, and Cadillac Daddy Trade D. Like it or not, peace, gang.